starts going off. She throws the phone. I hate you, whatever, whatever. Starts hitting me. We're in a little Lamborghini. You know, she's fighting me, and I'm like, look, I'm telling you the truth. I swear to God. You know, I'm telling you the truth. Stop it. So then she hits me a couple more times, and I just kind of it doesn't go from translation to let's sit down, I'm telling you the truth. It goes to now I'm finna be mean and be evil, arguing. So then like I remember she tried to kick me. It's like just her just being upset. But then I really hit her, like I with a closed fist, like I punched her, you know, and it busted her lip.
Yes, the Chris Brown and Rihanna incident that caused shockwaves across the entire world is back on our TLs. Well, it's also definitely a moment in the entertainment industry that's hard to forget. But allegedly, what most people have never known is the real root cause of what caused the fight. And word on the street is that it had a lot to do with Rihanna contracting STDs at the Diddy parties, including one she allegedly got from Jay-Z. Allegedly.
That's right. You know, at some point, and I think Sierra has said this, I forget who she was talking about, but I think she was talking about Chris Brown. Sierra's talking about Chris Brown, like, you know, when do we move on? Like, when do we forgive? When do we let go? You know what I'm saying? Like, how long are you guys gonna hold on to Chris Brown and beating Rihanna? You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand why people keep talking about that. It was forever ago. They were both very young, and he had just had his first herpes outbreak from her giving him the herpes.
Ooh, my.
Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay-Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most involved with, and that was Sean Carter.
But is Breezy really spilling on this like the streets have been saying? I don't know, but let's break it down. First of all, no one should be surprised that more than just body fluids were being passed around at the freak-offs that were organized by Diddy. Y'all remember when Diddy was indicted? Federal agents reported finding not only 1,000 bottles of baby oil, but also 3 AR-15s at Diddy's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. These items were reportedly part of a larger operation involving Diddy's freak-offs, where he allegedly hosted wild, fueled parties. The indictment actually detailed the use of these supplies in extravagant gatherings, including controlled substances, extra linens, and lighting. It also went on to detail how Diddy threatened and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. He was also accused of using his staff, money, and influence to build his business empire, and ultimately a criminal enterprise where he took part in a bunch of crimes not limited to forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The freak-offs were also described as elaborate and produced intimate performances that Diddy allegedly arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. Then it noted how Diddy's staff often booked hotel rooms and stocked them in advance with hard stuff, baby oil, lubricant, sheets, and extra lighting. Apparently, the freak-offs could last for days, and Diddy, together with the other people involved, would often receive IV fluids to recover from whatever they were using. I mean, if the environment was really as wild and reckless as what has been claimed, with hard substances, unprotected encounters, and people allegedly being passed around, then is it really that shocking that infections could have happened? In fact, we've even had people like Jaguar claiming that there are a lot of people from the freak-offs who are running around undetectable. Okay, Jaguar did an interview where she praised businessman and former basketball player Magic Johnson, who has been open about his HIV diagnosis, while several others, like, allegedly, Diddy, are running around undetectable while spreading the disease. She was like, shout out to Magic Johnson, a real black billionaire who wasn't all freaked off, who actually created dollars in real black neighborhoods so real black families could have that opportunity just like everybody else. He faced that head up. He didn't stop. He didn't stop doing what he's done. How many dudes is running around undetectable? According to Jaguar, those infamous Diddy parties were never just about champagne and good vibes, laced with drugs, cameras rolling, and power plays that could make anyone's skin crawl. She painted them as orgies where celebrities weren't just invited, they were compromised and infected with dangerous diseases, and people were getting infected left, right, and center.
Mary J. Blige, she's been there since the very beginning. She was pushing, 26 when she was having intimate physical engagement with Danny Boy was 15, 16 years old.
This Mary J. Blige, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you and you young.
Allegedly, one of those tapes that Courtney Burgess say that he never saw was with Diddy, a very 16-year-old and a very 26-year-old Mary J. Blige.
But have you ever been to a P. Diddy party?
Yeah, except many, honestly.
And so can you take us through like what goes on like when you were there?
What did I say when y'all asked me about why was the T Diddy party?
Yeah.
What'd I say? Money
Right.
and sex.
That's correct. Were you surprised that there were so many cameras in his houses?
No!
That he was recording these?
He is the J. Edgar Hoover of hip hop.
Okay.
Y'all done seen him put on the pyramid with a skirt?
So let me ask you, when you hear that Cassie was told to hire male escorts to come and what they call freak offs now,
Yeah.
that's something normal that
Yeah.
happens in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Freak offs.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody know that. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times I got this is wild.
So do you feel like people, when they hear Pink Young Miami has to bring across, that's
Right, the two seat.
And it's not just been Jaguar making all these claims, by the way. There have been more allegations that Young Miami has been passing around the virus, which she got from Diddy. Allegedly. JT was the one who first started pushing these allegations about Carisha, and she's the one who began hinting and spreading talk that Young Miami picked up the virus from someone, possibly Diddy, and is out here passing it along.
JT's basically coming out and saying that Young Miami is sleeping around with different guys, giving them AIDS.
Damn.
You know, and Future, Stephon Diggs is one of the people that got thrown out there. You know, she was with Diddy.
Honey, based on some reports that have been making rounds, Rihanna may have been one of the people who was also infected. And I have even seen some allegations claiming that this is possibly what may have led to that infamous fight with Chris Brown back in the day. You see, the story of what happened between Rihanna and Chris Brown was that they were in a Lamborghini the night prior to the Grammys in 2009, when Riri confronted Chris about smashing another woman. Then they started fighting, and Rihanna ended up with a busted lip, a black eye, and bruises on her face. According to what Chris said, Rihanna grabbed his crotch while she was trying to get his phone off him, and in retaliation, he also bit her and did what he did next. He then said that Rihanna got out of the car and started to scream, "Help, he's trying to unalive me." And he was like, "Stop, we gonna get in trouble." However, the real tea was allegedly that when Chris Brown and Rihanna were together, he got mad after Rihanna gave him an STD, which she had gotten from none other than Hova. And after he confronted Rihanna for always having something in her mouth, Rihanna followed Chris to the Lamborghini and started fighting him for embarrassing her, and Chris retaliated. Allegedly, Chris Brown was forced by Jay-Z to give the version of the story that he gave because Jay didn't want anything else to come out about him and Rihanna. And to make matters worse, there were allegations that she had contracted so many other infections from the parties. Now, when the other version of the story came out, fans started concluding that it's true that Rihanna and Jay had something going on. Then more tea started coming out about how the involvement started before Ree was old enough to consent, and that she was being transported across international borders for you-know-what by Jay-Z. Actually, there was a documentary a while back titled The Disturbing Death of Jay-Z's Mistress that was shared on YouTube by Trap Lore Ross, and it centered around the mysterious death of Kathy Corey White, who died in 2011 after suffering a reported brain aneurysm, and how she was possibly unalived by Jay-Z when she was pregnant with Jay's child. However, there were also a lot of interesting details that came up in that documentary about Rihanna. For instance, a publicist by the name of Jonathan Hay was mentioned as he represented Rihanna at the start of her career when she was working the single Pawn to Replay. Yes, the same publicist who said he started the rumor about the Jay-Z-Rihanna affair. After getting an honorable mention, Jonathan said that his phone had been blowing up since the scandal started making rounds again. And he wrote in an Instagram post, "I was mentioned in this explosive and viral documentary by Trap Lore Ross that was featured on Academics that's made my phone blow up for the past week." Recently, at Jaguar Wright has talked about this controversial situation as well, as I was the publicist for Pawn to Replay, the debut single by Rihanna. It's time for me to finally set the record straight once and for all, as it's way beyond beyond shocking, messy, and just flat-out crazy AF. Prepare to be blown away as what William Mosley and I have been through over the years involving this historical scandal needs to be put to bed for good. Yes, heads are going to roll, and people will be floored, but the truth needs to be revealed. So, he did an interview with All Hip Hop and went into more detail about the historical scandal he said would make heads roll. According to what he said, federal agents were keeping close tabs on Jay since his incident with Lance Rivera, and he was also being implicated in an incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour. Jonathan said that one day, unmarked law enforcement cars stopped him, and the intimidating individuals introduced themselves as a federal task force, and they requested to speak with him. So he followed them to talk, and he was in a complete state of panic. He said that as he sat in the desolate, makeshift interrogation room, and while they questioned him, the gravity of the situation became clear to him. Apparently, the feds clarified that they were investigating Hova for allegedly engaging in X-rated activity with Rihanna when she had not yet turned 18 and illegally transporting her across international borders. And the feds said she wasn't the only one. There were many others. Baby. Personally, I can't confirm any of these allegations because I have not seen the actual receipts. I'm just going off of what is already in the public domain, which is that Ree was allegedly present in the orgies and that she may have contracted a couple of STDs, one of them being from Jay-Z, and that is what led to the fight with Chris Brown. As for why this is making rounds now, I don't know. Maybe Chris is just tired of being the villain since he's still paying for that incident so many years later. But do you actually believe that Ree may have contracted all sorts of infections and passed them to Chris Brown? Do you think there's even a chance this is what may have led to their infamous fight? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below.